Football is more than just a game. It is honestly a global language spoken on every continent. Its story is a long and winding one filled with passion, conflict, change. It began not on pristine pitches under bright stadium lights but in dusty fields and muddy streets. The ball was often a simple, makeshift object, maybe an inflated animal bladder or just a bundle of rags. The origins of this sport are ancient and varied, with many cultures playing a game that involved kicking a ball. From the Chinese game of Cuju over 2,000 years ago to the violent medieval mob football in England, these early games were about more than just sport. They were community rituals and tests of strength. The version of football we recognize today has its deepest roots in 19th century Britain. This was a time of immense social change driven by the Industrial Revolution. People moved from the countryside into crowded cities seeking work in factories and mills. Life was hard, and leisure time was a precious commodity. It was in the exclusive public schools of England, like Eton and Rugby, that the game began to take a more structured form. The desire to play football stemmed from a simple human need for recreation and community. For the working classes, it offered a powerful escape from industrial labor. A pivotal moment in football's history arrived in 1863. Representatives from several London clubs and schools met at the Freemasons' Tavern to establish a single, unified set of rules. This meeting led to the formation of the Football Association, the world's first governing body for the sport. The biggest debate was over hacking, kicking an opponent in the shins, the handling of the ball. The clubs that favored a more physical carrying game eventually broke away to form the Rugby Football Union. This split defined association football as a game primarily played with the feet. The creation of the FA Cup in 1871, the oldest football competition in the world, further cemented these rules. It gave clubs a common goal to strive for. The British Empire was the primary vehicle for football's global journey. British sailors, soldiers, engineers, merchants. They introduced football to the ports of South America, the cities of Europe, the colonies of Africa and Asia. In Argentina, British railway workers organized the first matches. In Uruguay, local communities quickly fell in love with the sport's fluidity and drama. In Europe, students and expatriates founded clubs. The game's popularity soared. Football was adaptable, it required little equipment and could be played anywhere. It became a symbol of modernity, a new form of cultural expression. Each country added its own unique flavor and style. As football grew into a global phenomenon, it began to produce its first superstars. These players were more than athletes, they became cultural icons. In the 1950s and 60s, Alfredo Di Stefano of Real Madrid, Pelé of Brazil, Pelé, incredible skill, Pelé, dazzling goals, Pelé, infectious joy for the game. The advent of television brought their talents directly into people's homes. These players helped popularize the sport in new markets. Certain teams defined entire eras with their philosophies and success. The Real Madrid side of the 1950s won 5 consecutive European Cups. In the 1970s, the Dutch national team changed the game. Ajax, the club counterpart, driving innovation. They introduced total football, a fluid system where players swapped roles. Masterminded by Rinus Michels, personified by Johan Cruyff. These teams pushed the boundaries of what was possible on the pitch. Some matches became defining moments in football's timeline. The 1953 match at Wembley, Hungary's magical Magyars defeated England 6-3. It shattered the illusion of English invincibility and forced tactical rethink. The 1970 World Cup final, Brazil dismantled Italy in a celebration of attacking football. More recently, the dramatic conclusion to the 2011-12 Premier League season was decided in the final seconds. These games are etched into the collective memory of fans everywhere. The sport's growth was also fueled by intense rivalries between clubs and countries. El Clásico, Real Madrid versus Barcelona, steeped in political and cultural history. Argentina versus Brazil, a battle for South American supremacy. Today, football stands as the undisputed king of sports, a multi-billion-dollar global industry. Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, their influence extending far beyond the pitch into fashion culture and social media. The commercialization of the game has transformed clubs into global brands with supporters in every corner of the planet. Major tournaments like the UEFA Champions League, the FIFA World Cup, are massive media events watched by billions. This modern era is defined by incredible athleticism, sophisticated tactics, and an unprecedented level of professionalism. The game has never been faster, richer, or more visible than it is today. The introduction of technology, such as the Video Assistant Referee or VAR, has brought a new level of scrutiny to the game, aiming to reduce officiating errors, but also sparking intense debate about its impact on the flow and spirit of the sport. Sports science and data analytics have revolutionized player training. The rise of women's football has also been a hugely significant and welcome development.